Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Minister of Finance. This government loves to paint a rosy picture about the state of Ontario's economy. But yesterday, a report on CBC confirmed that Ontario has the second worst economy for young people in the country, the second worst in the country. Mr. Speaker, why are the Liberals failing Ontario's youth and the next generation? Why are they not giving young people hope and opportunity in the province of Ontario?
Well, I appreciate the question. I recognize that all of us are concerned about ensuring that Ontario grows inclusively for all. We are outpacing the G7. We're leading the way in Canada. We outpace the average of the United States. Growth and jobs in our economy have been over 100,000 annually, over 720,000 since the depths of the recession. These are important factors. More importantly, we need to continue to invest in our young people. That's why we've invested heavily in skills and training. That's why we've taken more steps towards university and college and post-secondary. That's why we put more into trades, all of which is helping our young people succeed. We recognize that youth unemployment has been a dramatic issue across the world, including the United States and other parts of Canada. We need to lower that unemployment rate for our young people. We need to foster experiential learning. And I commend our Deputy Premier, who has taken an extraordinary steps to do just that. Thank you.
Supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, I was hoping I'd get a response from the Minister of Finance about this report that says it's not just the world. Here in Ontario, the second worst in Canada in terms of young people and the economy. That's not a record you should be proud of. That's whatever the government's been doing for 14 years, it's not working for young people. You know, the report, Mr. Speaker, part of Generation Squeeze's Code Red campaign, noted that in recent years, full-time earnings have fallen for young people in Ontario by $4,600. That's putting young people below the national average when it comes to income for full-time work. This is causing young people to put off important milestones, according to the report. Mr. Speaker, this is not encouraging for Ontario's youth. The second worst economy for young Canadians is in the province of Ontario. What is this Minister of Finance going to do about that? Will he make sure young people are not let down in this province?
Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, we all recognize that we need to invest in skills in our highly trained workforce to ensure that our young people are prepared for the jobs of tomorrow. The member opposite has oftentimes gone back to glory days of assembly line work with smokestacks and manufacturing of the past. We need to embrace the future, Mr. Speaker. They may want to go back to coal. They want to go back to the days when people weren't as skilled and as trained for the necessary jobs of tomorrow. We're doing that, Mr. Speaker. We're doing that through the work that's being done by all the universities across Ontario, and the leadership taken by Kitchener-Waterloo, Toronto, and Ottawa on new innovations, on new techniques in agri-food processing, in clean tech, which is a future for many young people. That our member opposite actually does not agree with, Mr. Speaker, and we need to ensure that our young people are prepared for those future opportunities only by what.
Thank you. Final supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, again to the Minister of Finance, I'm shaking my head at that response. It was absurd. We get a response on coal when we have a CBC report here, Generation Squeeze, talking about the fact that young people are struggling in Ontario more than almost anywhere else in Canada, where you've seen full-time earnings have fallen by $4,600, where there's jobs available in Ontario that this government's not equipping young people for. The Chamber of Commerce report showed that we lose billions each year for jobs available in Ontario that young people aren't equipped for. And so, rather than talk about coal or something nothing related to the question, what I'd appreciate is an answer from the Minister of Finance on this report that was published in the CBC that shows young people in Ontario are falling behind. What is the Minister of Finance going to do to make sure young people in Ontario aren't put last in Canada by this government?
Be seated, please. Thank you. There goes my birthday present. Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, the fact is, youth employment actually rose 7,500 in February of 2017, and youth unemployment rate actually went down by 1.7%, but more can be done, Mr. Speaker. That's why we are trying to reduce the skills gap with highly skilled workforce. And I got to say, Mr. Speaker, the Employment Ontario Network has now helped approximately 1 million Ontarians, many young people, from 2015 to 16, including 122,800 employees across Ontario. We're investing $173 million in 2016-17 to offer a range of programs that support apprentices, employers, and training delivery agents. And in April of 2015, the government also invested $55 million over 3 years to help the next generation of skilled tradespeople. And as a result of the government's investments and support of the apprenticeship programs, new apprenticeship registrations have grown by 17,100 and more than 25,000 in 2015-16. More needs to be done, Mr. Speaker. We are doing our utmost, and we put so in the budget.
Thank you. Sorry.